waiting. Well, I'll just leave it. I think it's confused because it's light out. I'll just leave that. Okay. So welcome to Thursday night chats, talking about what the hell is going on with the energy, where the hell we're going, what's happening with this higher self integrations, what's happening with the planet, all things and whatever comes through. I already know Archangel Metatron is lined up, so we will see him tonight. And I just want to start with congratulating you all to have the courage to continue this process and to show up, not here, but in your life in order to continue the process. I know from my own development that sometimes it's very frustrating to do this process. Sometimes you feel like one, will it ever end? And then two, will anything get better? Or this again, like I thought I already worked through this, so why am I going through it again? And it is a cycle. You will get the same things to come up because there's a deeper wound or a deeper limiting belief that's tied to that. So it's not that the original thing came back, it's just something, a deeper dive, if you will. So we're in uncharted territory very much still. And, we just came through the rebirth energy on Easter. And even though you may not see it specifically in your life, know that it was a very large portal that we went through between Sunday and Monday, 4-4 and 4-5. And there was a lot of shifting. I had a lot of dreams. I'm going to try to recall some so I give you an idea of what I was being shown the first night. So Saturday into Sunday, I was in some type of, there was a lot of shifting between roles where people were moving in different places. Like think of it like when you're promoted, right? Like, or you get a chance to try a different role. It seemed to be in some type of room where people were being moved around, where their old role is over and they're allowed to take new roles. And there was a lot of shifting of energy. And I actually saw, I don't know if she's here, but Michelle, I saw you in there shifting. You're the only face I remember. So I knew it was, hi, Eileen. I knew it was something that maybe you would, it was interesting that I saw your face and you were just shifting. We were all shifting roles. And we don't necessarily know what that role is. This is that journey to the unknown part. But your higher self knows what role you took, and it will, hi Beth, and it will evolve over time. It's just not going to be the minute you wake up. It's going to be over time that you will start to see what this role is. And then on Sunday into Monday, I felt like a graduation. I know that I was being offered something else, like I was given a choice, kind of like you can choose this or choose that. And hi, Elaine. And I know whatever I chose, my higher self was very excited about it. She was just having the whole heyday. So even though you may not have had dreams or feel like anything has shifted between Passover and Easter energy into this week, it has. It just hasn't manifested on the physical plane. And this is the part where us spiritual beings and physical bodies get trapped, right? Because we see these visions, or at least I see these visions, and then we think, okay, where the hell is it on the physical plane? Like I want it now. And how long a stretch between seeing that come to fruition could be 24 hours, it could be 48 hours, it could be a month. And it really just depends on your divine timing and whatever your higher self has laid out for you. And the only person who really will know that is you. Now, I've talked about muscle testing. I get really nervous about muscle testing timelines because we're always choosing new timelines. So time is very fluid. So it could be 48 hours from now, but then it could change to a week only because of the choices you're making. You have free will, so you can shift things around without knowing it, or you can shift things in without knowing it. So I don't recommend that you ask specific dates when you will start to see proof of that. You could ask for a month, they're saying, but even that, they want you to really lean in and trust the process for this to unfold. And because we're only 4 days out from the 4-4 gateway, which was Sunday, we're still in integration energy. We have a week of integration that will go to Saturday. So we're still moving through that window, if you will. So what is happening? And I have shifted so much in the last 3 weeks that I think to myself, like, what? Like, I'm doing things, I'm offering things that I would have never done before. And there's no resistance to it. It's just like, nope, I'm here, done. And that is with the sacred feminine and divine feminine. She is really, really, really rising up within me. And that is the energy of April. This is the rebirth process that we went through. It was actually not just rebirthing our higher self, but rebirthing the new feminine, the new sacred goddess that lives within each of us. And then through us, allowing her to rise in the collective. And depending on what your relationship is with the feminine, this could be really hard because she exists in a very different bandwidth of energy than the ego-driven masculine, which isn't really the divine masculine world that we have lived in for not just this life, but potentially other lifetimes. So it can feel very foreign, can feel very I always like shrink when I think of some of the things that, the sacred feminine or divine feminine is tied to. And I'm starting some of the classes that I'm starting to offer is to go into this stuff. As it comes up for me, I'm offering the classes because these are many similar wavelengths of information that we all have gotten from society, cultures, and religions that are a big part of why we cannot embrace the true feminine within us. And this doesn't matter if you're male or female, we all have both. I worked in technology for 15 years, and it was a very, very obviously male-dominated job. And my feminine learned that wasn't safe, that I had to be as manly as possible. And it was obviously very logical. The feminine is not logical. She is, but she'd prefer not to be. She would prefer to just be in divine essence flow, to just let everything just wave along. Now, that is a totally different thing than what many of us have been taught from a young age, right? We're always taught to do and plan and have goals. And, she just kind of wants to like ride the ocean, allow the water to take you where you're supposed to go, which can be very unnerving for many of us because it feels like it can feel like we're wasting time or that we're not going anywhere. It could manifest as feeling stuck when really your feminine is trying to get you to just move with the flow, move with the flow, move with the flow, instead of saying, no, I need my boat. Like, I'm going to get on this boat and I see that island over there. I want that. And instead of trying to force your boat to get to that water, that island, against all the wind currents, the water currents, she's literally showing me, she's taking the wheel of the boat and just like turning it. Like, no, we're going to go over here and we're going over here. And it isn't because she wants you to suffer. She wants you to be able to tap into the essence. She knows how to get you to that island faster than you can think of. And it's not the way that society has taught us. And this is the energy that I'm in. I'm in this very flow. Like, I get up in the morning and she's like, okay, I want you to teach this class. And this is why all these classes are coming out. And I was class quiet for a long time because I didn't feel called to teach anything. But now she's like, go, I want you to teach this. I want you to help people get rid of this. I want this. And she's just every day, like, I have a whole list of classes that she wants me to birth. I mean, that's really what we're doing. We're birthing these new ideas and new ways of being. And we have so much just built up trauma, I mean, around allowing the feminine to flow within us. Could you stand? Now, many of you have at least experienced energy, even if you're not an energy healer, doesn't matter. Could you just stand, maybe put some soft playing music in the background, and just allow your body move to the energy that's around you? It's always around you. Just allow it to move your body. Could you do that, or would you resist it? Because that flow of energy is the feminine. That's her moving through you. She's not that stern energy that masculine is more a doing energy. She just wants to flow. She wants you to embrace the energy that's around you. She wants you to play with the energy that's around you. And that's what that motion is. Just stand there. And what you can do, you can just ask. If you wanted to play with this, you could ask, you close your eyes, connect to your heart space, and ask that creator, whoever, download light into you, or ask to feel the divine grace or divine essence of the feminine within you. If you truly trust it, just allow it to flow, and don't be mindful of what comes up, because there are huge clues as to where your resistance is. I have done this. I can do it in the house and no problem. But for the past 3 days, they've had me outside in the sun wanting to do it behind my house. Now, most people cannot see me in the backyard. Some can. So it's bringing up can I do this? Can I just move my body in this funny way with no music, just the sound of the birds, the energy of nature around me? Can I be in that? And through that, working through, okay, what is the resistance? What am I afraid will happen if someone sees me doing what basically looks probably like Qigong to me in my backyard? I mean, it's my space. There shouldn't be any issues. But we've been trained to, especially when we're out in society, to look and act a certain way so that we don't stand out. And the feminine doesn't like to conform. That's not her MO at all. In fact, she's been forced to conform for thousands of years, and she's pretty much done with it. So can you just allow the energy of her to flow through you? Or sometimes I'll get songs in my head, and that is sometimes her. Metatron will also communicate with me through song. And sometimes it's just for me to embrace the message, but then, allow your body to feel the beat. And even though the music isn't playing out here, can you allow yourself to embrace the beat of the song from within and allow yourself to just kind of groove a little bit? You don't have to be totally exaggerated about it. You can just allow it to flow. And then magic in there. There's creativity in that flow, and just allowing yourself to be. Being isn't sitting on the couch waiting for everything to happen for you. It's about being in that flow. And this is where she operates. This is the energy that is coming in for April, about embracing this piece. Now, if you've not done a lot of work around the feminine, and I have, I'm still working through being able to honor the energy within me. I've had to do a lot of work around my connection to Mother Earth, which is probably the biggest essence that we have of the divine feminine that we walk on every day. But we don't necessarily see her as that. So I've had to work through a lot of stuff around that, around betraying her, feeling like I've let her down or she's let me down, all kinds of stuff. I've been through so many trauma releasing in the last 3 or 4 days that it's hard for me to figure out where I'm going with that stuff. But I mean, today I sat outside in the sun. Now the sun is all activation codes. So that the sun is considered male. So there's an essence of that. But in that, I was working with my sacral chakra, second chakra, because this is where the feminine lives. This is her home. This is where the energy of it is, the womb, the creative space, the void. And I went in there and said, okay, so what is blocking me here? I know I have problems there. That's, where the energy seems to get the most stuck. My digestion isn't always great. That's all signs that there's something in there that isn't moving correctly. And I had a lot of grief from this lifetime, specifically with numerous events that were stuck in my sacral. But the biggest thing that came up for me was, let's see if I can remember, is that through past lifetimes, I had somehow associated my womb with death. Now, obviously, your womb creates life if you had children, but I had experienced something in a past life that made me, actually multiple past lives, that made me believe that my creations would always die, would always meet uncertain death. And I was blocking it. This is where your feminine lives. So you can muscle test and ask, do I have grief stored in my sacral? Do I have guilt in my sacral? And ask, and then, ask if, for information around what it is. It's going to be different for each of us, but I want to show you how big things can really mess with you. Because one of the things, obviously, everybody works on manifesting, right? And manifesting comes from literally the creational spark in your sacral. So if you've got blocks in there, it can be a struggle. You can have these, what I call these manifesting roller coaster, where it's good and then bad, and then there's a wide gap between the two, and then I go up and then I go down. And there is supposed to be an ebb and flow, but it's not supposed to be like so dynamic that it takes you 2 seconds to get down and 2 months to get back up. That's not how it's supposed to be. Ebb and flow, just like the tide, the 24-hour cycle. So, because the feminine is what is trying to rise in us, we have to allow ourselves to play with energy. What does the divine feminine mean to you? Who is she to you? Have you even thought about who she is? Because I know for myself, I've read books, I've watched videos, and I myself had not allowed myself to really define who she was to me. Like, who is she to me? And I was just kind of, I'll be honest, like beating around the bush, because I didn't want to have to face my shit around the feminine, because this is some of the deepest wounds, especially as a woman, that many of us carry. And of course, the patriarchal system doesn't help with that. So I was just like, oh, you're doing that? I'll do that. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Yep, I got my divine feminine going because I did what you did. And I realized I was fooling myself, that I couldn't just dance around what everyone else is doing and think that my divine feminine was going to be okay. I needed to be uncomfortable with her. I need to allow myself to be uncomfortable with her, to allow her to work through me, to allow her to show that part of myself. So it hasn't happened yet, but I know my hair will be cut soon. That's a whole kerfuffle on its own. Because very much I get that the inner me does not reflect on the outer me. And that's part of this, is getting yourself to allow yourself to express what you've been working on inside, this treasure chest that you've been working on inside, to allow her to actually to be seen, to show up and actually do what she feels called to. Your divine feminine loves pretty much one emotion, and that's joy. She loves to be in that energy. That is her sweet spot. And if you thought now, what are things that bring you not moments of joy, but sustainable joy? We all have moments of joy, but like, what are things that grandkids, I'm hearing, kids are sources of joy? But what else? There's all kinds of ways in which we can experience joy in this life, but we don't always give ourselves the freedom to really allow ourselves to express it. It does have a very inner child energy to it, of play. And we have to figure out how our divine feminine and masculine work together. Sure, there's a guideline you can go on, but yours is going to work differently potentially than others, depending on what role you chose to take upon yourself in this lifetime. So can you honor her? Can you just start small? So Elaine, it's very normal. Unfortunate as it is, we all know that the divine feminine has been pretty much punished and downgraded to being as little as possible, and pretty much just birthing of babies, cleaning house and such. And there's a lot of trauma in that. But the only way we can actually get to it is allowing ourselves to lean into the uncomfort zone. You know, many of us have been taught that when we're uncomfortable, we have to back off and be like, okay, how do I get around that? So I don't have to go in that mud puddle. Like, how do I? But in order to be able to break free on this divine feminine stuff, we need to lean in. We need to lean into those uncomfortable zones and say, okay, so what is really going on here? Why does that bother me so much? So the main themes that I've been working on is guilty pleasures, which I just posted a class for because it's something that's ingrained in our society, this idea that pleasure is guilty, which shuts us off from being able to experience the joy that it should give us. Things like eating birthday cake, having success, even using our own gifts, being able to just dance to the music without any care. We feel guilty or shameful for that instead of just allowing it to happen and being that energy. So if you grew up in a very structured, male-oriented culture, religion, the divine feminine, it can be very, very scary because it feels so different. I mean, I've been in this energy now for probably about a week when I did that summit last week, and I've been really allowing her to express through me. I've been not keeping my mouth shut, like, biting my tongue. I'm just letting it roll because that's all unexpressed energy, and it's how I learn how to connect to her. She's passionate, she's compassionate, she's empathetic, but she's also very powerful. She's very much a fire-breathing dragon for sure. So we all know that the divine feminine and masculine are represented in the body, the masculine being the right side and then the feminine being the left side. So depending on what side the body's suffering, you could have clues as to which of the divine essence within you isn't flowing. So if it's on the feminine side, then you're potentially blocking energy. I have found that when I'm doing that is that it's blocking the energy so that it prevents a gift from coming online. So one of the things I've been working on now is getting the energy to flow all the way through my legs, because it would get stuck just below the solar plexus and sacral. It wouldn't go in the sacral, and then it would never really get to my feet. So I've been trying to work on getting that to go, and it's because, one, it didn't want to have to go through this the sacral, because I didn't want to look at what was in there, and it affects digestion because it's fear and resentments, guilt, anger will all mess with the digestive stuff. And then if you have pain in your legs, that could be you blocking energy. So say the energy is either trying to go up through your feet to heaven or vice versa, and somewhere you're blocking it. You can also get it in your arms because the light will come out your hands. But if in doing so, your higher self or subconscious knows that by doing so that you will activate a gift that you're afraid of or have trauma around, you will block it in your body. You potentially can feel pain. So they're all clues in the body. Last week when I was doing the summit, on the first day, I felt like I had a hole in the bottom of my foot. Now, I have felt this on the palm of my hand, but I have never felt it in the bottom of my feet before. And it was the first time I actually had felt the true connection between Mother Earth and my feet, because I finally cleared something that allowed me to connect to that. I was grounding, but I wasn't. Oh, they're showing me that I was putting a pole in the ground, grounding, but I wasn't plugging into the outlet. So I wasn't allowing myself to receive. I was only giving, or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. So there's many reasons why it can show up in the body physically. Your feminine is not a doer. She does not like to have a to-do list. She does not like to have, not that she doesn't like structure. I'm not going to say that, but she would prefer to just play with energy around her and see what's possible versus having a direct step-by-step plan to get somewhere. It's a very different energy. And again, if you have been raised in a family, or that doesn't embrace this, it can be really scary. It's not that you can't go through it, but it's not. So with theta healing and with the higher self-illumination healing that I do, for the masculine stuff, for the most part, we can just pull it and then it's gone. It just shifts. But there seems to be an element with the feminine where we can do that, but we also have to learn how to honor and play with the energy, which will bring up a lot of resistance, especially if you can't just let the energy play with you. Can you just allow the energy to play around you? Can you just allow the movement of that play around you? Can you connect to the heavens through your soul chakra and be connected to the earth chakra at the same time? Or because of religion, you have to choose one or the other. You're the bridge between heaven and earth, and your feminine flow is a very much part of that. So there's a lot of reasons. Again, this has been a 3-week deep dive. I know I'm not through it. I was told this week would be a hugely interesting week, I will say. I definitely had some really low days. Tuesday was awful. Today was better than Tuesday, but a lot of tears. Tears, I don't even know what they're for. Just by breathing and connecting to the sun and connecting to what I believe my role might be in the future, just tears. And they're not, I always say they're soul tears, but these aren't soul tears. These are like I was feeling lost. I was feeling alone. And all those tears, and I was seeing all these angels or guides that were coming in around me, many of them living on the planet now, and just seeing them in my space brought me to tears, because I felt like I was being seen, and then I wasn't on an island somewhere by myself doing all this work. And not that no one cares, but no one quite gets me. And I've had that for a long time. I mean, that goes back to my childhood for sure. But we're going through this, that's part of the egoic death. The egoic death, the ego wants to feel like it's known, like it has a place. And it's not that you won't on the other side of this journey to the unknown. It's just that we don't know when the replacements are coming in, or when the new soul family or soul tribe will show up that is in alignment with wherever you're going. And it can be very scary to let go of relationships that you may have had over the last couple of years, and yet know that they no longer serve you. But you hold on to them because, well, what if no one ever comes in? Or maybe it's not until a year, so I should hold on now. And I know today when I was on Facebook, I got clearly that there were people that I am Facebook friends with that I need to let go of. My work with them has been finished for a long time. These are people that I have studied with in the past. And it's just time to let go. Like it's not in my best interest to even hold energy for that anymore, because I know they're not who I will be learning from in the future. And I am building new networks of people to help me with that. So that has happened. But this is all the feminine. She has a plan for you. And you can either make it really hard or easy. And the biggest way for it to be hard is not being willing to play with it. That's all she's asking. Right now, there's nothing serious about the divine feminine essence that seems to be being birthed at the moment. It's just about play. And as adults, unless it's with children or grandchildren, many of us don't play. We play with our kids, but do we play with selves? And that could be allowing ourselves to dance just because. This is allowing ourselves to sing in the car or even sing wherever. And this is wanting to skip down the road when you feel called to, and just doing it because it feels good and it fills you with joy instead of denying yourself that. It's allowing yourself to have a piece of candy without feeling guilty about what it might do to your body, or it might make you fat, or all the other nonsense beliefs that they've told us about the feminine. And when you lean in, you can really see where your blocks are with the feminine. And I know from doing my own work, I've been much better at it. Everything around you, and it can feel a little whoa at first, to look at your environment and either keep track of or pay attention to your thoughts in your head or how you're feeling about a certain situation. So I've been working through a lot of abundance blocks that seemed really minor but turned out not to be. So I would go to the refrigerator and use something, and I would skimp on the serving because I had some fear that I wouldn't be able to get more when I ran out. That will block every manifestation you could possibly imagine, because you're saying that you're either not enough or don't have enough. And those little tweaks are around us everywhere. And it can seem overwhelming to go in and go, okay, so why did I just hear that? What's that about? And being able to analyze it and try to figure out what it really means to you, which is where theta healing would come in, and how you can change it. Because some of those micro alignments actually have a deeper root, which is usually what I find. I don't remember what it was. Some of it's genetic. I definitely had a lot of genetic abundance flaws, I will say, with my parents and with my Irish heritage, which of course has a suppressed history in the United States in the beginning. So all these things play in fact, I spend I spend time, really focusing on bringing the energy, manifesting, creating the energy for the manifestations that I choose to have in my life now. But if I spend all that time, let's say I spend a half an hour really allowing myself to imagine what it's like to have whatever and feeling the joy and the bliss. And then I get up and go to the kitchen. And when I serve myself a protein shake, I cut the serving size in half because I fear I might not have enough. I've pretty much annihilated my whole half an hour. So it's paying attention to that. And you have the power to change it. And that's her element of play. She just wants you to play with the idea of what it would be like if you were abundant, where the masculine wants to know more how you're going to get there. We're in the energy right now, journey to the unknown. Nobody knows how to get there. And we have to be able to honor that. I'm hearing we also have to honor our bodies. They're saying that some of us are not listening to our body's cues. It will tell you when you're out of alignment with the feminine, but it will also tell you when either it's not been fed properly or it needs something else. It will tell you when it wants to experience more joy or more play or more creativity, if you allow yourself to listen to it. It is very much part of your intuitive toolbox, your body. It will very much tell you where you're out of sync if you will let it. And that sometimes is hard because we have a lot of limiting beliefs around what the body can and cannot do, what foods we should eat, what what kind of water we should drink, what we should drink and what should we not drink. And we limit our body's intuitive abilities by following some of those. I'm not saying that they're all wrong. It's just that they're not quite the truth, many of them. So this is the energy of April. We came through the solstice, we came through Easter and Passover, all rebirth energy. And now we have a month of integration, of allowing ourselves to flow to our next destination instead of trying to force ourselves to the next destination. I know that I shifted and I chose something else over the weekend. I have no idea what it is. And I need to just step into that. And it's not, how do I get there? I don't get up every day and say, oh, how do I get there? That's great. I'm so excited. How do I get there? I say, okay, so what is it can bring me joy today in service to Source? And what is there anything I need to work on today? And then I just allow that to happen. It's been a very, very different energy for me. It's kind of scary, but I'm enjoying it. There are definitely pieces of me that are coming out that were not there before. I don't seem to have a filter anymore. I pretty much have been saying whatever I feel like instead of, I used to edit myself. That's not happening anymore. And anytime it does, she calls me out on it. So energetically, we're still in very much a flux point because we all potentially got new roles over the weekend in this rebirth energy, and it hasn't manifested. So the collective is still very, very hot right now. Very confused, I'm hearing. They're saying tied in knots, because I'm seeing a pretzel. And they just said, and some people are really salty. Ha ha, pretzel with salt, I got it. And we have to stay out of that. We have to, because that is like what's going on in the collective right now is a reflection of things that were created in the past, right? Because it takes time for things to catch up. We ask for them, we put energy towards them, we maybe have visions about them, and it can take, time for that to catch up. So just remember that what you're seeing in the collective now is from, let's say, a week or a month ago through creation energy. If you want things to be different in a week or in May, then you need to focus on what that looks like and not give energy to pretty much what is past energy in the collective at the moment. Okay, so we're going to do 3 cards for somebody having questions on things that are happening to them and they don't know what the hell is going on. They just showed me one that I will share in a moment. So last night I was reading and the words were, what was I reading? They said it doesn't matter what I was reading, but it was a real book. It wasn't on a Kindle. It was a physical book. And I noticed when I was looking at the words that certain words would bold themselves and then shift. And I had to look at, kept looking. I was like, there's something wrong with my eyes. And they're like, no, you're like, just like the Bible or many other, and I was not reading the Bible or any other books. There's a living force in the words. It's not just words on paper. There's an energetics to the actual words themselves. And the words that my higher self wanted me to focus on were bold, and they lifted off the page. It was the most wild thing. I was like, is something wrong with me? Something wrong with my eyes? Because what is happening? And I was turning the pages, but it kept happening. And I was like, okay. And I was seeing a lot of orb energy last night too. So my higher self and some other friends were trying to pick out certain things in this book that they wanted me to either focus on or heal for myself. And So if you're having, your gifts are, so beyond this role that we may have not have taken, I know I got a new role over the weekend. It may mean that new gifts have to come online, which means you may start experiencing things like I just said, where I had this really weird thing where like the words were lifting off the page and I was like, what? And just honor it. You know, it can feel weird and you can go into, oh my God, what's wrong with me? But I heard, no, it's a remembering of how to use something. So let's say if I looked at, I don't know, somewhere and I was out reading something, literally the most important words like lifted off the page. So then I don't have to read the whole thing to know what needs to be focused on. We'll see what that's for someday, I guess. I'm already a really quick reader. I don't know if I really needed help with figuring out which sentences I needed to. Oh, they're saying that's why. Because I do read so fast. I don't skim, but I read pretty fast. And they're saying we were bolding those because I read so fast that I wasn't paying attention to certain sentences and certain content as much as I should. And they're saying that they were asking for certain pieces of it to be bolded so I would pay more attention to it. So interesting. And that's not something that's ever happened to me. That's some type of clairvoyance. Maybe I should look at those Hebrew letters again, Elaine. I wonder. So I say that because Elaine and I have worked a lot in religions between Roman Catholicism as well as Judaism, and through her motivation for me, we've read some books that included Hebrew letters. And I don't remember what was the last one we read, and I've had dreams with Hebrew names in them and Hebrew letters that I know nothing about. Well, not in this lifetime anyways. And we were reading something where there were words, Hebrew letters, let's say, and my brain wanted to turn them upside down. I could just feel it. Like my brain wanted that to happen. And I know that they read left to right instead of right to left. But even if it shifted that way, it would still not be right. So I wonder if I looked at those now, if I would see something different. And the Hebrew letters are activations, for sure. Just like the hieroglyphs. These cards are sticky because it's hot. So you gotta, they're saying in this time, in this month, you must pay attention to the things that seem coincidental or I can't say that word, that seem inconsequential, because they're saying we're starting to rip off the next, they're showing me like a perforation on a tea bag or something. We're starting to rip that off to allow ourselves to see what's inside that pouch. And at first they're saying we're going to see little glimmers of it. And they're saying it's not going to make sense. They just want you to honor that process and go, I wonder what that's about. Show me more, right? And then they'll allow you to tear off some more. If fear comes up, you need to do work and figure out why you're afraid of what might be in there. I didn't have any fear. It was more of a, okay. So you just need to honor that. We're very much opening new gifts, and they are tied to the feminine. This is going to be interesting because I've never seen any of the psychic gifts as being male or female. I just figured they were, but they're showing me that there's essences of clairvoyance and clairaudience that are part of the feminine that I haven't even opened because I've really only been honoring the masculine. And this being able to see the living energy in this physical book, they're saying is a feminine clairvoyant gift. These cards feel weird tonight. Okay. Cards are sticking together. They're showing me something that I did earlier in the week. I didn't really do it today, but I sit in the sun and I allow it to really fuel my third eye. But they're saying that you should try to play with having the sun hit the bottoms of your feet or even your hands and see if that activates anything in your feet. I know it does for me. It makes my whole body full of energy if I allow it to the sun to connect to my bottoms of my feet. And it's warm enough to do that now, so. Okay. So we've got 3 cards. Okay. So the first card is Mountain. We've gotten this card before, but it's upside down. Let me see if I can, now that the sun has set. No, but you might be able to see this better now. This is the Mountain card. I have an idea, but let's just make sure. There is an obstacle in your inquiry. This is not time to move forward. Wait a while. Be patient and wait, and a way around the mountain will be revealed. Pushing forward isn't in your highest good. Don't try to climb too high to grasp the prize that seems out of reach, because it is for now. If you exceed your limits, you'll find yourself tumbling down and you'll get hurt. Remain open to a new possibility rather than stubbornly forging ahead. So this is energy I was talking about before, where we are being asked to take a back seat to the energy and really allowing, the saying of let go and let God. That's the energy we're in, and allowing ourselves to step back and allow the energy to do its work, to formulate the new playing field that you will be playing on in, let's say, a week or a month, depending on where your soul is at. If we try to push through this right now, not only do I think we might end up in a place where we're thinking, what the hell? Like, I've already been through this. Why am I here again? But I think we may actually hurt ourselves. And I don't mean physically. I mean energetically. Because we are being given a gift in this window of time in order to really work with the feminine and really start to understand her and how she works with the masculine. And you can't do that when you're trying to push to the next goal, right? So they're showing me a tricycle, and they've literally put this like blocker on the wheels on the tricycle, just asking you if you will let God push. Will you let us push you? Do you trust us enough to push you? They're saying, but some of us want to pedal and let God push at the same time, and it doesn't work. I mean, many of you have children, I'm sure, or have been around children. And I know when my nephews were small and we would push them around on their tricycle, they usually wanted to go in a different direction than I did. And it would just end up in this like struggle. Like, they wanted to go right, we go left. And usually, you end up with a toppled tricycle. So, and they're saying that it's the same energy. If you're really open to being in the journey to the unknown and really allowing that energy to blossom into what it's supposed to be for you, and really believe that it will lead to something beyond your wildest dreams, then you cannot have your foot on the gas pedal. And not the brake either. Like, we're supposed to be in coasting energy. So if you find yourself there, you need to really ask why you can't just let go and let God. What is it about needing to know where you're going? Because the energy we're in now is not about that at all. We're I watched Amanda's video, and she talked about expecting miracles, expecting the unexpected to happen. But if you're trying to force something, you may miss the miracle because you're so focused on a certain target, a certain result, a certain thing that needs to happen in order for whatever, and you'll miss the miracle. You'll miss the opportunity, the experiences that source and your higher self and your guides are trying to deliver to you. In order for you to truly be immersive in this energy, you literally have to ride the waves, which is very interesting because that was one of the other cards I got. This is ride the wave. It was upside down, so we will talk about that. But it's that energy we're in. We're being asked to flow. I mean, the difference between climbing a mountain and riding the waves are very different. This has a more masculine energy, and this is more feminine. Now, I just heard this is ego masculine, not divine masculine, because the divine masculine is not hard like the ego masculine. You may be mistaking a rogue wave for a fun ride. You can only coast for so long before you hit the shoreline with a smack. The tide is ebbing, and your activities are now preparing you for when that wonderful wave comes in for you to ride. You're meant to learn how to be a strong swimmer now. Don't worry, preparation ensures a successful result. However, you must wait patiently for the right moment to come. Now is the time for conscious preparation and skill building. We're being asked to wait. And I know this is hard because by nature, Western cultures, we're doers. You tell me what the next step is. Just give me a little taste. Can I have something? We're not being given any of it day by day, pretty much. I'm being given these classes to do in this retreat that I'll be coming out soon. But other than that, it's just like, wait, it's coming. And I can feel it. It's in my field, but I don't know. I have no idea what that looks like. So in Amanda's video, she asked us to imagine what it would feel like for your higher self or source to hand you a gift in April. Would you be excited about opening it or afraid of what was in there? My inner child couldn't wait to get the freaking box open. But that's a way to check in with whether you're really ready for the journey to the unknown and really all in, or whether there's some resistance to the idea of what might be in the box and what change it would, and it will bring change into your life. Are you ready for that? And then this other one is Peaks of Joy, which was in between the mountain card and the riding the wave. We allow ourselves to just flow. We're going to get these. And we're in this energy of retraining ourselves to and be okay with it. I know my higher self has been leading me to go places or leading me to do things, not as tests, but kind of to see how I react to it. Do I have resistance to it? Can I just allow myself to have it without worrying about what it will do to my body, or whether I have the abundance for it, or whatever. In those moments, your higher self is making tweaks or giving you an opportunity to examine your beliefs or emotions around things, to tweak the energy so that you can have more joy. So before Easter, she led me to Nora's Cupcakes, which is in West Hartford as well as Middletown. And my husband loves cupcakes, and it was Easter, and I kept hearing, it's rebirth energy, you should allow yourself to celebrate. But I had so much resistance getting these cupcakes. I knew my higher self wanted them, I could tell, but it was such an opening and window for me to really lean into why I couldn't allow myself to have these cupcakes. There was a lot of food messaging around it, of course. But there was also messaging around abundance, whether I deserve to have joy from food, whether I've done enough to even celebrate, what am I celebrating? There was a lot to dig through for that. So if you find yourself being attracted to some places, know that your higher self is directing you to some of these places to feel things out. He or she is going to call in situations to see where you're at, but also to give you the opportunity to shift it if you're willing. And that's for sure what's been happening to me. I'm just like, oh, it's one of those times again. I obviously have something to shift. I'm out of alignment with what she wants. She wanted me to eat that cupcake. And here's the thing. She wanted me to enjoy every bite. And this is something else that I'm learning, or unlearning, I guess, to really allow myself to feel the texture and the taste in my mouth. I know I eat really fast, and I know that's not good for many reasons, but when we do that, we don't ever experience the pleasure from the food. And it doesn't have to be a cupcake. You could get pleasure from eating asparagus or an apple. It doesn't matter. We should honor the food by allowing it to give us the pleasure, the emotion of being able to have it in our lives. And we don't do that. And that was one of the things that she's been really working with me. In fact, I'll eat now, like after this, I'll eat, and she'll be like, slow down, put the fork down. And it's like she's retraining me how to allow myself to have pleasure. And it's been interesting. It's a very different relationship than I've had with her in the past. Like, she's always kind of been up here, and now and then I would hear her. But literally, she's saying she's retraining me to remember who I am and my divine birthright as a being that gets to experience pleasure in every moment. And today, when I sat out in the sun, I allowed myself to just receive the pleasure of what it felt like to have the sun, the warm sun on my face. The pleasure of listening to the birds, the woodpecker that I could hear very vividly in the trees. But allowing myself to experience food in a different way. So all you have to do, if this isn't already happening, you can ask your higher self to do this, and he or she will very, very much like to help you make these tweaks. And the more you make those tweaks, the more you become aligned with your higher self's energy. This is who they are. Your higher self doesn't live in guilt. It doesn't live in, she's saying fake, heavy, nonsense belief that cuts you off from your divine nature. And there's no one to blame. This has been well rooted in society for a long time, but it's up to you to change it. So that's what she's saying about the Peaks of Joy card. Who doesn't want more joy in their life? She's saying I would like to offer people a challenge that you muscle test with a pendulum or not, if you deserve joy or are worthy of joy. They do have awesome cupcakes. They're like, sometimes we go to Sugar Bakery because they have more gluten-free options. Sometimes it depends. But I actually ate a non-gluten-free cupcake and I was fine after I worked through all of the stuff around it from Nora's, and I was fine. So it is, I do really love Nora's. And I'm psyched that they have a West Hartford location, because the middle location parking is just fun sometimes. But, you know, the cupcake was literally like a prime view as to whether I would allow myself to have joy. Would I allow myself to experience the joy the cupcake gives me? And while your adult may not be all in on the cupcake, your inner child really loves eating cake. And we have to honor the inner child within us. And this is where we're at. We can either push through and try to get where we think we're going, or trying to get the result we want that we think will get us where we want. Or we can ride the wave and experience peaks of joys along the way. This is where we're at, and we're just in that wave energy. What do we have? A full moon coming up? Full moon or new moon? I don't even know. I'm hearing new moon. Okay. So we'll go to, is the new moon this weekend? I'm going to say yes. Yeah, there's another place in Avon that I've wanted to get to. I've not heard of the Cake Gypsy, but there's another one that will sometimes post. Is it Spellbound? Or I think it's Spellbound, but I'm not sure. And they're entirely gluten-free. But Avon's a kind of a pain to get to because there's no highways. But see, but I know you're laughing, but many people actually have that belief pattern, and that's what happens. I've heard people jokingly saying, just looking at cake, I gain weight. Well, you're really denying yourself the pleasure, right? Like, where you can't even taste it and you gain weight just by being around it. And those are some of the belief patterns that limit us from being able to experience pleasure. And pleasure could be buying a new outfit at the store and wearing it and allowing yourself to just feel like totally blissed out in joy with how it makes you feel, instead of looking in the mirror and saying it makes my butt look big, or it makes me look like I have a belly, or whatever it is. Instead, allowing it to allow you to experience the joy based on the colors or whatever it is, and allow yourself to present yourself to the world in that energy instead of your insecurities. Boot camp. But it's all stuff that we've been trained through magazines. God, I can't, like Glamour magazine, Cosmopolitan, all those magazines we used to read. I think of our Glamour, I'm hearing, they all taught us some really bad things about denying our pleasure, our divine pleasure, because we can't have it unless we look a certain way, or we act a certain way, or we dress a certain way. And that's rubbish, 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 rubbish. So we have a new moon this weekend. Yes. New moon, more rebirth energy. We want to go a week out to next week. Okay. So it is this weekend. So it's Sunday, April 11th. And it's interesting because April 11th, any 11 day is a choice point day where you get to choose if you're going to continue on the path that you're on, or you're going to make some shift into maybe a better timeline. And of course, the new moon will amplify that. And the full moon is on April 26th. Okay. Thank you, Eileen. I knew it had to be coming up because the full moon was the week before Easter. It was around the solstice energy. I think, no, they don't want to talk about that. Fine. I have not been staying up to date with astrology, so I have no idea other than the fact that we're in Aries energy. I really know nothing. Well, I love it when we get the same cards, but that's all good. It's now when we go into next week, so starting the new moon, think of it like we came through this rebirth energy, they're saying, on Sunday, and then we have a week of integration. The new moon is they're saying the initial starting of the engine of whatever has been integrated this week. So this makes sense to me then. You know, I think, I don't know where, but we still have some, crazy energy. But we have a magic prayer, which I think we've seen before with the divine feminine energy. What is her? This card is a reminder that your prayers will be answered. Spirit is always waiting to help you and to heal you when you're in need. That said, the best prayer is, thy will be done through me, thy will and not mine be done. Conscious contact with your higher power is achieved through the ritual of prayer and meditation. Speak and listen to the divine force within the field of creation. Surrender your wishes and desires to spirit, and you may not get what you want, but you will surely get what you need. Your destiny awaits you. As long as you keep in conscious contact with your higher power, be assured that you are on the right path. And I feel like next week is like the build up to something. I'm getting yes. Like we're building into some energy. Now, that could be collective, it could be individual, but I've got goosebumps. So there's something building up next week, not to some horrible event, but something good. I can sense that, but we still have some tricky energy because we have storm fields. This was upside down. 9. Now is not the time to engage in any activity that brings unwanted chaos or drama into your life. This kind of storm can be destructive, and you'll regret your actions later. Hurtful words will be carried on the wind, bring a tornado of betrayal, anger, and unnecessary angst. Find shelter. This turbulent weather will pass, and your house will be untouched. Say no to drama. Wait till the storm blows over, and only then will you be heard. So we have this. I can feel this, like, as I pick up this card, there's like this building of energy. Like she's showing me, like, as on a roller coaster, you go up the hill. I feel like next week is like that hill point, and this week is like who's on the roller coaster, and what roller coaster are we going on? What is the final destination? And next week seems to be, okay, we're on the hill and we're climbing. But there's still potential for you to stop the train, for it to never leave the station, they're saying, for you to get off. But you have to stay out of the collective struggle that is around us and stay focused on what you're creating. And I say that because in between these two cards, we have the peaks of joy again. And even though all of this swirl is around us, all this chaos energy, fighting, whatever it is, you still have access to this. You still have access to new possibilities and experiences through your rebirth, this new light energy that's coming in. And all along the way, you have opportunity to experience peaks of joy. But to experience this, you got to stay out of this. And however that looks like in your life, if it means cutting cords or not hanging around certain people or shutting off the TV or the radio, whatever it is, you need to do it. Because this energy will separate you from this if you allow it. But if you allow yourself to, they're saying, connect in the morning. So they're saying, get up in the morning and intend to create a day full of joy. And ask Source and your higher self to show you how to have joy in your day. When your day is filled with play and the idea that you'll experience joy, you will feel less tempted to get involved in this. Because you can feel the momentum that's building inside of you about where you're going, and if you let it, your higher self will, you can feel his or her excitement in you building as you get closer and closer to whatever this is. You find that inside of yourself, and allow yourself to be in that they're like, stay out of this. This will separate you from this. You can't have peaks of joy in the storm field. Metatron. I don't know if I have his cards. Yes. He's like, you do. Like, okay. He's saying 3 cards for us to where we need to focus to really hone in on our own inner power, the things that we either need to heal or accept about ourselves. He's saying many of you are on a new path, so spanking brand new that it doesn't even look like anything that you have walked before. And it's going to feel topsy-turvy a little bit as things break away and start to shift to allow this new grace of this miracle that is coming. And the human experience has this knack of holding on to the pieces instead of just letting go and allowing yourself to free fall into new possibilities. So with these cards, I hope to give you an idea as to where to focus to help break you away from resisting the fall into grace. Okay. So, hold on. He's telling me to hold, so I'm going to hold. You know, big pieces here. Metatron doesn't go small. I'll just tell you right now. He don't beat around the bush. He'll just come out and say it. Okay. So the first card is orange, connection and attunement. But I want you to look at the energy, because earlier in our chat, I talked about just playing in the energy. And this man is showing us how to play in energy, allowing ourselves to be in the energy, to honor our energy. But he's grounded through his feet and he's connected to the heavens. He's saying, I'm in a daring mood. He's saying, I dare you to muscle test when you feel grounded, if you really are. And if you are grounded, are you connected to the heavens? Many of you think that you are, but it's not a strong connection. You need to go deeper. You need to honor the energy that wants to flow through you. You should feel this in your body. Sometimes being grounded isn't something you can feel. It's just something that is. But right now, I really want you to feel the grounding of your feet. Almost like your feet have lead weights on the ground and they're not separate from earth, that they are part of it. It may feel odd at first to be able to feel that grounding heaviness in your feet, but it is what's shifting as you start to really honor your divine connection to not only the stars, but to Divine Mother. She is calling you back. She is calling for you to listen to her, to connect deeper to her, as she not only wants to help you build your dreams, but she wants to build hers. And as you walk on her and you allow yourself to ground, but without actually feeling that grounding inside of you, you're only grounding from your outside energy source. Your bubble, if you will, is grounding into earth. But I want you to focus on truly being able to feel the energy of Mother Earth below your feet. You may feel like heaviness, think like Frankenstein shoes, or you may feel tingling on the bottom of your feet and know that that is the communication between the cells, the acupuncture points on the bottom of your feet, and Mother Earth. That there is some divine messaging that's happening between your cells and her cells. A remembering of who you are to each other, who you are as one together, who you came to be for her and who she is to be for you. There's nothing you need to do. It's just something that you need to feel and trust and know that there's some magnetic connection happening between you and Mother Earth. And when you get that feeling in your feet, the tingling, the heaviness in your feet that makes you feel like you're not just grounded on her surface, but somehow you're pulled energetically down into her dirt, I want you to raise your hands to the sky and see if you can feel the same energy from above. Can you get that energy to flow down into your hands, into your arms, allowing yourself to feel the tingles? Or maybe it just, your arms want to sway. And allow yourself to receive the energy from the skies, from the heavens. And allow that energy to drip down your body, allowing it to go down into every orifice, and then all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Once it gets to the bottom of your feet, I want you to check in and see if by doing so, you are still grounded to Mother Earth. Or did you disconnect when you connected to Father Sky? If you disconnected, intend to connect to Mother Earth again and allow yourself to feel the energy of her beneath your feet. If you can do this in grass, barefoot, or even with socks on, that would be perfect. And you will feel more of the energy between you and her. I want to say that if you're wearing shoes, know that you connect to her as well. This is just so that you can feel the energy percolating on the surface of the dirt or grass that is tickling the energy field in your feet. Without the barriers of shoes, it will be easier for you to be able to feel this. So allow yourself to reconnect to Mother Earth, intending to stay connected. So how do you do this? Don't bring your hands down. Keep your hands in the sky. Feel the energy coming down, and then intend to feel the energy on the bottoms of your feet at the same time. Can you do so? Allow yourself to play with this. This is not a test. There's no prize that you get at the end. You just need to allow yourself to play with this energy and allow the muscles, your energetic muscles, remember what it's like to be able to stay connected to your higher self and Father Sky and be connected to Mother Earth at the same time. Not just knowing it, but feeling it in your physical body. Okay. This is always a card. This says, authentic self, who are you? And in this rebirth process, many of us have no idea who we are. And that's something that I know I work through. And I think I get past it. And then they're like, he'll be like, who are you? And I'm like, oh God, I thought I freaking worked in this. The who are you card is my ask to you for you to honor who you are, not who society wants you to be, not who your kids want you to be or your grandkids want you to be, or who your job wants to be. I want you to know, if you really know who you are you without all of that outside distractions, responsibilities, and needs of others? Can you just allow yourself to see inside of who lives there? Who is he or she? What are their emotions? What do they want to experience? What do they want you to work through so that you can experience more grace in your life, more peace and more joy, and of course, more abundance? You can have that. But this whole journey that you're in right now is not about what's happening out there in the collective. That is just a culmination of everyone's past hurts and struggles. Right now, I need you to just focus on you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your duties. You should go to work. You should be a mother. You should be a grandmother or grandfather. You should still do those. But I want you to carve out time so that you can figure out who you are. Who are you without all those things? Who are you at the soul level? Who is trying to peek through and show you who you really are? This is at a soul level. This is who your higher self is or wants to be seen as, who he or she wants to embody in this lifetime. And nothing outside of you is going to ever tell you what that is. There may be clues that come up that your higher self shifts around you so that you can get comfortable in new situations or look at new possibilities. But know that she will only play with you if you allow yourself to play with the idea of who you really are. And being open to honor that. And being open to honor the feelings that come up around the idea of tapping into your authentic self. It's okay to feel distrust or fear, or maybe anger or resentment, or maybe feel limited or unworthy. As sad as that may be, it's normal. You've not been taught to go within to figure out who you really are. You've been taught through society to look outside yourself to define who you are or find your place. Your place is within you, within your heart space. It is a place that I'm asking you to come back to, that your guides are asking you to come back to, as well as your higher self. This is where it all begins and ends, in your heart space. This is where you create from. This is where your desires come from. This is where your joy will come from, your peace, freedom from within you. As you allow it to build inside of you, the world will change. But as long as you look outside of yourself for proof of who you might become or who you could be, you will always stay disconnected from the truth of who you are. Now, I will say that the last card that we talked about staying connected to the heaven and Mother Earth at the same time, if you really allow yourself to play with that and be okay with whatever results you get the first time, it may not work the first time, and it's okay. You will get there. But I want to warn you that as you connect to that, your authentic self will become more and more real, and he or she is going to want to be honored and heard more and more. So it's not necessarily a warning, but I want you to be aware that that is the sweet spot of your authentic self. When they are connected to the heaven and sky, they can channel the energy up and down and around your energetic field from Mother Earth to the sky. This is where they live at the truest potential for not just you but for themselves and the world. So just allow yourself to be with that. Can you allow the energy of that to just build up? Who is inside of you? Who is longing to be remembered? Who is longing for you to remember who you are? What part of you wants to have some attention given to it? Maybe it's not your higher self. Maybe it's your inner child or inner teen or inner young adult. Allow yourself to honor that. Allow yourself to play with that. And it is the sweet spot. When you allow yourself to really get comfortable with who you are and who you are becoming, storm fields don't matter. The tidal waves of not love don't matter. The mountains don't matter. In fact, when you allow yourself to connect to this authentic self, you dance at the bottom of the mountain, beckoning others to come down and join you in this sweet, sweet energy that you now allow yourself to be filled with. It's your choice whether you choose to allow that energy to flow within you and open up to your authentic self and honoring some of the self-defeating habits that you might have. There's no judgment, but it's where you're at the moment. In order to allow this rebirth process to happen, you have to be okay with not only who you're becoming, but who you have been. This just goes along with this. This is blue, mothering, and a Madonna and mothering. It's the same energy as this feminine stuff. He's saying you need to be able to honor the divine mother in you. I'm not talking about whether you're a woman or man and have children. This is not what I'm talking about. You are in your feminine essence. You're a divine creator. There is creative energy flowing through you every single moment, whether you know it or not. But the mothering energy comes into birthing it into creation, allowing yourself to play with the energy, allow it to mold it and see what it can be, what potential it might hold for you or your family, instead of just brushing it off. You're being asked to be a mother for the world, to be able to birth in new ideas, new ways of being, new healing modalities, new discoveries about yourself, maybe about the outside world, that then sends ripples out to the collective and your family as you hold space for the creations that you and your higher self have chosen for you to birth into the world. You are a divine mother. There's nothing that you need to do to be that. You just have to accept it. And if any unworthiness comes up, I ask that you work through that. As a human being on earth, you are automatically a divine mother the minute you are born. Part of your purpose on earth is to help rebirth new energy, new ideas, new ways of being into the planet. All you have to learn is how to connect and honor it. And part of this is allowing yourself to really physically feel yourself grounded to Mother Earth, as she is the largest divine mother in your presence. And she births things all the time. Flowers, trees, wind. Mountains, oceans, new islands. It's always in flow. Volcanoes, always in flow. She's always there. And you are not going to birth an island or a volcano, but you are to birth new things. And you already have. You just didn't see yourself as a divine mother and creatress. But I'm asking for you to honor that process. Become comfortable with it. Allow the energy of the divine mother to show you how to flow in your life so you have more ease and grace. This is what she wants to give to you if you allow yourself to play with the idea that you contain the essence of the divine mother within you. Okay. So we're going to have a short one tonight, I think. They're saying 2 more cards, and then we'll do dragons. I need water. I need water. Okay. I really can't make this stuff up, can I? These cards are usually in sync with the theme that has come through tonight. And there is no doubt that that is the case tonight. Good. So Metatron's using these cards as well. This is adventure. And he said he wants you to think you're going on an adventure. Can you allow yourself to accept the adventure, believing in your heart space that it will lead to something beyond your wildest dreams? And can you allow yourself the pleasure of that idea? At the bottom it says, innocence, play, and discovery. This is why I said these cards seem to always go right into what we've been talking about. We focus in this, he's saying in your world, you're so focused on the outcome that many of you miss the path along the way, the flowers along the way, the miracles and experiences that get you there. So I want you to shift a little bit. I want you to be able to just play. Walk outside your door and greet the bushes and the blooming flowers around you with a loving smile as you see their presence. But make sure you do that the whole time you're out, or even in your home if you have blooming flowers and things that bring you joy. But more than anything, I want you to see life as an adventure. I want you to be able to see and own the adventure. Imagine that you are standing before your higher self or Metatron, if that's who you choose to see now, that's fine. And he's handing you a backpack. In this backpack is everything that you need on this adventure. And he doesn't want you to open it. But can you take it from him and accept that what's in there is everything that you need on this adventure to not just help you survive, but to help you thrive? Can you put that backpack on your back without having to look inside to see what's in there? Can you just trust that the universe will provide everything you need as you start to trailblaze on your new adventure? On this adventure, we're not giving you where you'll end up, because in this adventure, we want you to be able to see the miracles and experiences that happen all around you. It could be right in front of you, right now on the ground, or maybe in the bushes to the side, or maybe around that first corner is the most beautiful view that you could ever imagine. But if you allow yourself to not be able to put the backpack on your back without looking on it, you delay your movement on this path. And by the time you make it around the corner, the sun has set and the beautiful colors that would have greeted you if you just allowed yourself to accept the backpack are gone. And in that, you missed one of the beautiful experiences that your guides and your higher self have paid for you. Don't delay. Accept the adventure. Trust that what is in that backpack isn't limited. And know as you take from there, whether it be abundance or sustenance or exercise or sleep, that it will be replaced instantly. That the batteries, if you will, that are in the backpack will never run dry. And you don't have to do anything to get them to recharge or to fill up. All you need to do is put one foot in front of the other and follow the path, the energetic path that your higher self and your spirit guides and source have laid out for you in this portion of your life. And I understand that this is an entirely new way of living. For you to just accept the path and not know where it's going. But I promise you that if you do allow yourself to do this, you will experience some of the most beautiful experiences that you could ever imagine. But you must embrace it. And I know that there will be times in this adventure where you just need to sit on the side and say, I need a break. And that's okay. But I don't want you to give up. In those times when you feel like you're going to give up, call me in. Ask me to help you. Show you how to get over this roadblock that you think you're facing, or filling up something inside of you that you feel is missing in this adventure. And let me help you. You're not on this adventure alone. In fact, on this beautiful trail, you're going to meet some beautiful people who love you for who you are and want to support you, want to see you soar as they soar, and you soar together. And eventually you won't be on this path alone. In fact, you'll be walking with many others who are on the same path as you, who may break off from time to time because their path is done with you, or maybe because they have a side trip they need to make. Or maybe you have a side trip that you need to make, but know that you will always come back to them. And even on that side trip, they're still connected to you. And anytime you need them, or you need us, me, call me. I will help you. You're not supposed to do this alone. But your first step is to take that backpack from me and put it on your back. And allow yourself to really tap into trusting the universe, but also trusting yourself and the intuitive hits you get about what you should and shouldn't do on this path. Whether you should stop, keep going, rest. Can you do that? And he's saying in this, if you embrace this beautiful adventure that is waiting for us all, and I'm even hearing for myself that I need to accept this adventure, that it will lead to this. This is liberation. Power, fulfillment, self-attunement. So while there isn't a physical destination to this, there may be, or they're saying multiple destinations. It leads to this, to your liberation, freedom, liberty, all those things that our soul wants to feel desperately. And this adventure will lead us there. Liberation is knowing that all things are whole, that everything is in divine order where it needs to be. There's nothing you need to do. You just need to be able to follow the energy as it flows. Where do I go today? I've come to a fork in the road. Which one feels like it has more energy, right or left? Don't go based on what someone else wants to do or someone else went, and that may not be your space, and be okay with that. It may be permanent. You may not see them again, or it might be temporary. But you'll never know unless you allow yourself to follow the wind. Follow the crumbs, the energy as it leads you on your path, your adventure path. Life is the adventure. And right now, you're at the beginning of a new and beautiful adventure that will lead to your liberation, to your freedom, to your peace, to your excitement, awe, and wonder. Instant manifestation, bringing you bliss beyond your wildest dreams. This is where your adventure will take you. So while it's scary at the moment, this idea that you're putting 2 feet on the ground, you have no idea where you're going. And you're being asked to take this backpack filled with these batteries that will keep you sustained through this. All you have to do is commit. Say, I'm ready. Show me. And every day, get up and ask, where do I need to go today? What energy am I to follow? And allow it to unfold. And as you get used to moving in that energy, liberation comes. It's not at the end. That's not the destination. Liberation is not the destination. It's in the act of embracing the adventure. And as you allow yourself to flow in the energy, you will realize that you have already been liberated. Very cool messaging from Metatron. Love, love, love. I may not actually put these cards away. I think I might just keep them out because they're definitely talking to a part of myself. And to, I know people that I've talked to are going through similar things. Can you accept the adventure? Okay, so dragon time. And it's very interesting. There's only 2 dragons tonight. That's not happened before, but it's okay. So choices are just 1 and 2. Maybe we have more dragons. Crazy. These dragons almost look freaking alike. These are the two cards we got tonight. They look almost exactly the same. That's never happened before. The first one is Serene. I think that's a feminine figure in front of him, but I'm not sure. Gently flowing water and a soft summer breeze depicts this dragon's energy beautifully. You can rest assured now that life is finally going to settle down, especially if it has been somewhat turbulent. She says, I'm the lapping of the waves in the early morning sun. Allow me to wrap you in my blue cloak of tranquility and accept my presence as pure calm settles around you. As your inner perceptions shift, so will your outer world experience. Remember the tranquility you seek lies within you. The outside picture and experience you may be suffering is all but a mirror of the turbulence inside. Call upon me to guide you to that peace of heaven which you so crave. Observe your outer life experiences change as they begin to mirror your inner feelings of serenity. She encourages us to go gently with ourselves. We are quick to nurture ourselves. We are quick to nurture others and often neglect our own needs and at times health. We must feed ourselves with that which brings us joy, lifts our spirits, and makes us feel truly alive. As we accept, we too are important. Our worldly experiences will begin to reshape and shift. B. Isn't that interesting, right? B. And that's the feminine. That's, and these two cards have a very small energy too. So that's interesting that you figured that out, Eileen. I'm used to my E's, but very cool. Okay, Serene. See the ocean. I see green, beautiful green water with these not so small waves. And she's saying that you're going out into the ocean and allowing yourself to be in the water. But when the waves come in, you run away. They chase you away from your own knowing. The true essence of you lives in the flow of the water. The ebb and flow, the rise and the collapse of the water. The waves that are coming in, crashing around you, that are chasing you out, are the needs of others, the demands of others, demands of the world, weighing on you, pushing you out of the ocean. But it's only your perspective. These waves are meant to remove you from your place of heaven in the water. Instead, if you allow yourself to stand strong, you can allow yourself to be for others, but also allow yourself to be in the flow of the waves. People will always need you. People will always want your attention. But you should never allow your flow to be stopped to allow another's needs to come before yours. You need to learn how to be in the flow of your own energy and allow yourself to drift on the waves, not worrying about how close you are to shore and wondering if you get out too far, whether you'll be able to make it back in time to help those who need you. Can you just allow yourself to float on the top of the water and allow yourself to just be with the water, allowing it to guide you, bless you, wash away the blocks, the limitations that you have surrounded yourself with, and allow yourself to be carried away to a new destination, or maybe destinations, to meet new people, to have new experiences. As long as you don't allow yourself to just flow on the ocean and be okay with floating out as far so that you can't even see land. It's just you and the ocean. Maybe some dolphins and whales who come to play with you and greet you in the water, and you dance with them. As they leap, you leap. As they spin, you spin. As you play with one, as they share their wisdom with you and help you remember your own. As long as you will not allow yourself to go deep enough into the ocean where those beautiful beings can connect to you, you're preventing yourself from flowing into the deeper waters of who you are. Don't be afraid of losing them. They'll always be there. Yes, they may be disappointed when you say no the first time, but maybe you might be shocked too in the fact that you honored yourself and didn't stop your flow in order to help them. You can't, if you want to allow yourself to encompass this new energy and wrap yourself in it, you need to be able to be okay with being in the ocean even when they need you. Not to bring them into the ocean with you. They have their own ocean that they need to find. And that's their journey. But know that you can still reach them even if you're in the deep blue of the ocean. With the waves, the seagulls, the water birds, the whales, and dolphins. Allow yourself to let go and allow yourself to just flow there. Be okay with being that. And if not, work through why not. Because your truest essence, the being inside of you who's trying to be born, loves to be in the ocean. Not walking by the ocean, hoping that someday you'll get the chance that no one will need you, or that you won't have something to do or a to-do list, and you're waiting for the time or the invitation to get in the water. If you need that, I'm your invitation now. Let me show you how you can flow there. Let me show you how you can still care for your family or friends, even in the deep blue of the ocean. And who knows, you may inspire them to find their own deep blue ocean too. But that's not why we're asking you to do it. It's for you to honor yourself, to allow the energy to flow within you, for you to remember your own gifts. Allow you to connect to the beautiful animals, the tortoises, the sea turtles, the coral that exists in that deep blue that your soul wants you to experience. And in that, you will find what you're looking for. You can't wait for permission. You can't wait for the right time. The right time is now. I bring you a boat, a lifeboat, if you will, and I'm asking you if you will get in and join me. I will only go so far. Eventually, I'm going to ask for you to get out and swim on your own. You don't have to swim in your water. You could just float on top and be just like a boat. So if you need help at the moment stepping in, allow me to guide you into this lifeboat. You can't bring anything with you other than that backpack that Metatron talked about in a minute. You can't bring family, can't bring friends. It's just you. This is your journey. And they will love you, your family and friends, regardless. Maybe a little upset, but that's okay. That's their stuff. You get in the boat, just allow yourself to imagine that the boat is slowly pushing offshore, going deeper and deeper to the edge where you no longer can see land. And honor the feelings that are coming up. There's nothing wrong with that. Part of the process, part of the rebirthing process you're going through. The water is about rebirth and flow. You can't rebirth from dry land. You need to be in the energy of flow. So just allow yourself to honor whatever's coming up and make peace with it. Ask my help, ask Metatron's help, higher self, source, whoever you choose to work with. And allow them to help you move and transform that energy so you can more easily float in the deep blue. This other card is Platinum. If you can see, he has, so I'm going to say this might be Kundalini energy. He has the chakras up his tail with a violet flame at the tip. Platinum. X1XX. The incredible being is the guardian of the Atlantean temples. He is the historian and record keeper of all events during the Atlantean era. He has the capability of taking you to and bestowing upon you the magic encased in that time. His message is this: I am the keeper of secrets, that which is as ancient as the world itself. I'm here to impart this ancient knowledge to you for you to use for yourself and others. This is your role. It has been hidden for eons and forgotten by many. Now is the time for these memories to resurface and ancient knowledge to be imparted to you. Like many things, these secrets have been hidden in plain view. All you need to do is ask to be reconnected. The Platinum Dragon requests that you connect with him during meditation, and he will guide you towards that which you need to learn and recall. He brings in full alignment of the new chakra energy and tells me they are changing color. His job is to align you to your full healing potential in whatever form that may take, to align your body's light matrix to that of the galaxy and to the earth. His role is to connect you more deeply to you and to clear all the lower vibration from your physical and spiritual bodies. Who picked this card? I got Eileen and Brenda. So this energy of this dragon is weird, I'm just going to say. He came in and he's wandering around. He's like, why am I here? I'm like, really? Hold on. Maybe I get some help here. So this is Metatron. He's saying the issue is that this dragon doesn't feel the connection that it needs to have in order for it to bless you with these gifts. It's not something that you're doing wrong per se, but it could be worthiness. It could be he's saying more analytics about what it is versus allowing it to just be. It could be that he's saying there's not a strong connection between you and this dragon. But the reason why the dragon is here is because there's potential for you to be able to connect to this dragon and to remember this ancient knowledge. And know that if this dragon signed up for you, that part of your mission or your higher self's mission is to embody this energy that the Platinum Dragon wants to help you bring forth. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is who you are. And yes, sometimes when you tap into that, it may feel scary. But is it scary or is it exciting? The two energies are very close. And many people mistake anxiety for excitement. So I'm going to call over the Platinum Dragon and allow him to connect through me to see if he can assist. He has this staff that has all of these colored chakras on it. And he keeps letting it go, and I just keep hearing it crashing to the floor and breaking into a million pieces. If you are ready, Metatrons, no pressure. You don't have to do this right now. You may contemplate it for a few days and then decide that you're ready. That's okay too. But can you take this staff? All it is an invitation for you to be open to the idea that your soul has access to some information that needs to come forth now. And don't be afraid of what that means after the fact. I don't even want you to think about that. I don't want you to think about, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with it? What am I going to have to do with it? Who am I going to have to talk to about it? What am I going to have to do with it? I don't even want you to even think about that. I just want you to be okay with holding the staff and honoring the importance of it for you. And honoring it within you, whatever you're supposed to do with it will just naturally unfold. And these ideas or knowledge from Atlantean times are not always for everyone. Sometimes it is just for you as for your soul's growth. I'm not going to tell you which one because then you may block it. I want you to just accept that this staff with these beautiful chakras on it is yours. And you have owned it in other lifetimes. And that your cells and your higher self know exactly what it's for. Please do not deny this gift that I'm giving you now because you're afraid of where it might lead you. I just need you to accept the staff and allow it to unfold. You are in control. That staff is an activation, a yes. When you embrace it, you say yes to the Platinum Dragon. You say yes to your higher self and source that you are ready to understand what that knowledge is. And again, it doesn't have to be for everyone. So many people get so wrapped up in the fear of who they might have to stand in front of and share it or show people how it works. When many of the gifts and knowledge that are coming forth are just for you. Part of your soul's growth. Part of honoring a piece of you that maybe you've forgotten and needs to be reunited with you. And if that's the case, it will happen naturally as you allow it to unfold. So can you take the staff and just be okay with whatever it's going to be? And if you are someone who carries a gift that needs to go out for the greater good, know that there's baby steps. But again, I don't want you to worry about how I'm going to do it. What am I supposed to do with it? What is it? I just want you to accept the staff as an invitation to play with the idea of it. Nothing more. Can you do that? And when strange experiences show up or you have epiphanies, honor it. And know that that's part of the unfoldment process that is happening as part of the knowledge that is contained within this staff. You're not alone in this. There are many, many people going through this same thing of having to accept something new for themselves that feels totally out of bounds. But it's only out of bounds in this lifetime. You have already done whatever this ancient knowledge is or gift. It's not foreign to you. It's only foreign to you in this lifetime. It is something that you harnessed in Atlantis and potentially other lifetimes. It's much like riding a bike. You don't learn to ride a bike for the destination and worry about, who you'll see on the way or what there is to do along the way. You just get on and ride and your body just knows what to do. You don't have to think about pedaling, steering, braking. It just comes naturally. And along your guided path, you come across people and birds and animals, new turns that allow you to unfold this. On a bike, you get to choose how fast or slow you go. You can brake when you think you're going too fast. You can speed up when you think you're going too slow. You're in control. But I'm asking you to just take the staff. Again, you don't have to choose in this moment. But I need you to at least play with the idea of doing it. And hopefully soon you will accept your new adventure. Okay. So the two of them are done. Thank you for listening tonight. If you enjoyed this, please like the video. It helps me with to grow my channel. I do sense that there may be some changes coming to this not to YouTube, but to me and where this goes. And I will keep you all up to date of what that is. I can just tell by some of the things that are coming through for me. And of course, I'll share that. I will always do these. I just don't know what they'll look like. So have a good night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. My things.